What's going on, everybody? It's Tyler and Justin back with the What's the Lock podcast. We're doing week three picks and predictions. I know I have a couple plays. We'll go over today's Thursday. We have a game tonight. We'll go over that, and I guess we can kind of just get started. Anything you want to talk about, Justin? Starting out.
Do you want to do a review? Did we do a review of last weekend? Uh,
Well, yeah, I guess. I mean, we can kind of quickly go through. I mean, I know there's going to be a lot of things that kind of go into this week that happened last week. One of the major things is, I mean, there's going to be a lot of backup quarterbacks playing this week. So, yeah, I mean, if you want to start going over some of the games or whatever you want from last week, yeah, we can kind of talk about that a little bit.
word. Well, on the plus side, all my money lines hit. I did have one money line that didn't. Broncos game. It's probably one of the craziest endings to a game in regulation I've seen. Uh, Totally screwed my whole parlay up. Uh, but Colts were, going for that game-winning field goal. They missed it. 0 seconds left. Uh, and then there was a late penalty call on the Broncos um, after plenty of celebration. And I'm not really sure. I can't remember what the penalty was for. But anyways, the Colts re-kicked it and made it. So that screwed my whole literally everything else hit. So uh,
Yeah.
tough loss there. But yeah, I mean, I'll talk about the Eagles game real quick. Um, I know. The big talk right now is around the banning of the tush push. Um, I just want to point out that just as much as the Eagles linemen may jump or false start or whatever the case is, if you look at almost any time the Eagles run the play, the defensive line, at least two players each time on the defensive side of the ball are offsides. So as much as you guys want to point out the Eagles' flaws in that play, there is just as many on the other side. The only difference is the Eagles win that play every time. No other team can do it. You can. I think even if the referees and coaches, if they regulated it more and focused more on like the fundamentals of the play and making sure, I don't think the Eagles would. I don't think it would change much. I still think the Eagles' offensive line is going to overpower almost, if not any defensive line in the league. So, uh, but aside from
I mean,
that,
there are other leagues that use the tush push. I mean, the Ravens use it sometimes, and the Bills use it. Definitely,
yeah,
I
it's
know
just
they've
it's just
definitely taken
different when the
that. So,
Eagles use it because they're better at it.
well,
They're
they started to use it first, but I mean, yeah, I mean, I don't think they're gonna ban. I don't think they'll because they have to ultimately pass it to ban it, and I don't think they'll end up passing it anytime soon. It's not something. I don't think it's something
well,
that
it's
they're
going to at least last the
gonna
rest of the
change,
year.
but
But
yeah.
no, I will say the Eagles' offense does need to pick it up a little bit. But the Eagles' defense, on the other hand, I know everybody's gonna talk about how Mahomes was missing his first two receivers, but let's not forget who he was working with. He was working with Hollywood Brown and Juju Smith-Schuster, which 3 years ago Steelers would rave about, or 4 years ago Steelers fans would rave about him. So it's not like he's a bad receiver by any means. He used to be a number one receiver. Uh, let's not forget that. And Hollywood Brown is also a monster. He always has been when he's healthy, at least. He's injury prone, but when he plays, he's good, and you see why. And also Travis Kelce. So, yeah, you can say Rasheed Rice and Xavier Worthy not playing well. You know, they still have two receiver one caliber, or at least has been receiver one caliber receivers. Um, So
Yeah.
that's not really a good excuse. I think the Chiefs have a good enough roster to be able to win those type of games, and they just don't. And that leads to my next point is I think that the Chiefs are on a downfall right now, and I think that opens up a lot for the AFC. Um, I mean, yeah, they're clearly obviously tied for last in their division, so I'm not even. And honestly, the Chargers looking the way they have, um, I think the Chargers actually have a really good shot at taking that division. But I think overall that opens up a lot for the AFC. It opens up a lot for the Bills to finally, crack that Super Bowl drought. Ravens. I mean, those teams that couldn't get past the Chiefs. I think this is the year you're going to see a team go past the Chiefs. Um,
Yeah,
yeah,
I mean the Chiefs so far have been pretty favorable, or like they just look really bad. So I think their biggest problem is really like their biggest problem is like up front. I think like their right tackle, their offensive line is just not playing good, and their receivers are not getting open. So, but
and I also
I
think they
don't
don't
know
have
if
a run
I'm.
game. I mean, Patrick Mahomes being your leading rusher is. I mean, that's not Patrick Mahomes' mo. I mean, he's not Lamar Jackson. He shouldn't be your leading rusher when you have Kareem Hunt, who again is an established running back in this league, and Isaiah Pacheco, who had a monster season in his first year. Like you have these two running backs that have shown promise, but now all of a sudden they can't run more than 20 yards.
Yeah, I haven't. I'm not sure if I'm sold on the fact that the Chiefs are going to be a bad team this year, or they're going to miss the playoffs. Actually, but I'm getting close to that point,
I don't
and
think they're going to miss
I
the
will say
playoffs.
if
It's
they
just
lose this week, it's going to be getting to that point, where they could actually potentially miss the playoffs. Because I mean, if they don't win the division, there's only two wild card spots. You're going to have to battle with two other good teams to get that spot. And that I mean, there's other teams in their own division that are going to be good this year. But yeah, I don't. Yeah, like they're definitely on that like verge of like I don't even know if they're gonna make the playoffs at this point. I want to say they. I'm not gonna fall into that trap of saying no. So I want to say they are gonna turn it around, starting this week. But yeah, I mean the Chiefs are definitely on that list of just I'm not touching them. But I wanted to say, there are a few injuries, quarterback injuries. We'll kind of talk, I'll just talk about a little bit, and we'll obviously go over that during when we go over the games, some of the games. But a couple of notable quarterback injuries. J.J. McCarthy for the Vikings, he is going to be out this week. They have Carson Wentz starting in his place. I actually think that could work out really well. I mean, the Vikings have really not looked very good in both games that they played. They did end up winning at least one of those games. They lost the other game, right? Yeah, they lost against the Vikings or the Falcons. So yeah, they're 1-1. They have only had really one good quarter of play, honestly, and that was against the Bears when they came back in the fourth quarter. That was like the best quarter of play that we've seen. Other than that, they've kind of looked pretty bad. And I mean, Carson Wentz, even though, like, I mean, he's definitely had injuries. He's not the same guy he once was. I think he can come in and at least provide a spark for the offense, especially against the defense. They're actually playing the Bengals this week. I think the defense they're playing, he can have a good game. But also on the other side, Joe Burrow is also injured, so he's going to be out. He's got turf toe. He's actually got a grade 3 turf toe, so he's actually got to have surgery. He's going to be out probably 3 months.
yeah,
So he's
probably
not going.
close to
He's
when
going
the
to be done.
playoffs are about to start.
So
At beginning of
that's big.
January.
um, Guy that stepped in last week had a pretty good outing. I forgot what I
Jake
just forgot.
Browning.
Yes, thank you. Yeah,
Yeah, the return of Jake
I
Browning.
don't know why I just blanked on that name, but he was all right. But I still, I don't trust him down the stretch. I mean, he also has. I mean, he's really good receivers on the outside to catch the ball for him. So he had pretty good defense. Like he had a pretty good outing, and I don't really love the Jaguars defense either. I'm not like in love with them right now. So I'm not really sure if I trust Jake Browning, especially against I think the Vikings' defense is a little better than the Jaguars. So I would, in that
Bengals.
game particularly, I think I'd take the Vikings. But it's going to be an interesting week because there's going to be a lot of backup quarterbacks. And then a couple other quarterbacks that are out or could be out. There's Jaden McDaniels. He is questionable right now for Sunday with the knee. And then Brock Purdy is out also with a turf toe. Sounds like he's going to be out still. So,
Wait,
yeah,
who?
there's going to
Brock
be
Purdy?
Brock Purdy. Yeah.
Yeah. I heard about
Yeah.
that, and
So,
I was debating taking Arizona's money line. I actually, that's one of the ones I'm thinking about. It's plus money, and Arizona's actually looking good. So it's
I'm gonna
definitely up
keep
in the
checking
air.
in on Brock Purdy, but last I heard he's not supposed to be playing this week.
Yeah,
So
which Mac Jones, hit and miss for
yeah,
me, I guess.
it's gonna be a good week. I mean, and I mean, looking through like the odds and stuff, and there's a lot of teams that are like heavy favorites and stuff like that. So I think it'll be a good week though. I've definitely I mean, I have a few plays and I have a few things that I like. Last week, betting wise for me was awesome. I mean, I just had a great week. I mean, week one was kind of strugglesome because we did end up taking the Giants, and there was a few things in week one that didn't pan out as well. But week two, we pretty much clean swept the board. And as far as betting, and yeah, it was a great week. So, but um, I don't know. Is there anything else you want to talk about from last week?
Not from last week. I do want to add that I actually Jake Browning is the quarterback who came in when Joe Burrow had his what was it, the ligament issue in his wrist, uh, and he actually kind of, I mean, Jake Browning had a couple of pretty solid games. I actually think that we, weirdly enough, and I know it doesn't look like it, but this might be one of the better games during the week. Like you said, there's a lot of heavy favorites. A lot of these games might be, like, I mean, I'm looking at Jets versus Tampa Bay with Justin Fields out. I mean, that's going to be a blowout. Green Bay versus Cleveland, I don't expect that to be very close.
Yeah,
Buffalo and Miami, I don't think anyone expects that to be very close. I think the Rams and Philly game will be very close. I think that'll be a great game. Atlanta's probably going to mop Carolina. Indianapolis has been looking really good. If they look as good as they did, they're going to mop Tennessee. But like Cincinnati versus Minnesota, that's a game to watch because again, Jake Browning had a couple of really good games filling in for Joe Burrow like 2 years ago with
yeah,
the ligament, and Carson Wentz. I don't think he's that. I mean, obviously as a Eagles fan, I should know. I don't think he's that bad of a quarterback. I think, and another thing to look for, and I'm kind of waiting for the line because it's not out yet. Is his rushing yards because he's and obviously if you watch the Minnesota Vikings at all, you'll know that their line is not very good. Um, they uh, they basically just let people walk through, and Carson Wentz does have a bit of mobility to him, so look out for a rushing yards line for him because I think that's a nice one to look for, especially against a defense that, I mean, really, if he's scrambling away from Trey Hendrickson, and I feel like he's probably going to, uh, you know, pick up a couple of rushing yards. So
yeah. That could happen. I don't. Yeah, I mean, that could happen for Carson Wentz. I don't know if I'll take a look because I mean, I just haven't seen Carson Wentz play. I don't know what kind of props are gonna come out for him, but
no, and that's why I
I
would
don't
think
think
that he
he's.
would probably hesitate throwing the ball at first a little bit, and you might see him run a little bit more. I really like a rushing yards line for him.
Well, I mean, the other thing is I don't love when I'm like the Bengals on the defense. I mean, talent wise, the Vikings should be able to. I mean, they have Justin Jefferson. I mean, Carson Wentz and Justin Jefferson against the Bengals defense, that should be absolute money. But yeah, I mean, it's tough to say that they're going to come out and just smoke them because I mean we haven't
No,
seen
it should be a
Carson
really
Wentz
fun
play.
game to
So,
watch, in my opinion.
but yeah,
I
it'll
think
be
it
a
might be
fun
the
game.
best game to watch. I think it might be one of the better games. I,
Yeah, I think it'll be a fun game to
Maybe I'm
watch.
wrong, but it just seems like one of those games. Whenever I see like two backup quarterbacks who have like some form of history go at it, like especially with Carson Wentz's side, who you know obviously with the Eagles went through a ton. It just seems like one of those storylines where like it's going to be a highlight game, even though it's like not. It's not. I don't even think it's not even the 4 o'clock slate. It's a 1 o'clock
Yeah.
slate, but it just seems like one of those games that's just going to be weirdly highlighted. Um, and yeah, I think Justin Jefferson will probably have a pretty good game. If Carson Wentz gets hot against that crappy defense, I think again rushing and pass. I think Minnesota is looking better than the Cincinnati side of things. But
Mm.
also, is Jordan Addison back this week,
I don't know.
or is it? It might be next
I
week. I
haven't
think it
looked
was a
into
3 week
too many of
suspension.
the Sunday games. I do have I do have a couple play. I actually have a same game parlay for tonight which is not very. I don't really do many same game parlays, but it's actually a two pick same game parlay. I think it's I think it's pretty good. And I did this instead of taking the spread. I was very 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 close to taking the Buffalo Bills spread, but
It is a heavy
I'm
spread.
gonna
Was it 11 and a half, 12 and a half, or something
yeah,
like that?
I was very close to it, and I was even very close to just dumbing it down and taking it 9.5. But I've decided I've landed on a two pick parlay. I'm doing Buffalo Bills money line and James Cook to score a touchdown at any time. I think both of those play. I think the Buffalo Bills do win this game, no matter by how many points. I think they by a field goal, by 7. I don't know what, but I think they win this game. I don't think they straight up lose. And I think also James Cook has number one scored in each of the first two games of the season. And if you go back and watch Dolphin games, they are bad against the run, and they're whenever James Cooks plays against them, they're really bad. I mean, James Cooks absolutely cooks them. So he's been a monster. Like James Cook has been like one of the best players. No, not enough people talk about him. The odds are juiced for his TD score. It's like minus 180, but I think it's very likely he scores. He gets so many touches. Last week he had 21 rushes for I think over 130 yards. Obviously, that's a Jets defense. I know they're struggling right now, but Miami Dolphins have not stopped the run at all. I mean, Jonathan Taylor
They haven't stopped the
ran
pass
all
either.
over
They haven't stopped
ran
shit.
all over them. And I think to me, the Dolphins are like broken as a team. I think they're just, I don't think they're in it together as a team right now. And this is like a make it or break it game for them. If they don't win this one, I mean, I would, like I kind of told you yesterday, I think especially if they lose by 2 touchdowns or more, I think Mike McCarthy gets fired tonight. I don't think it waits another game. I think it happens tonight because it's live on television. People are going to be watching, and ultimately, this team. I mean, the Dolphins shouldn't be 0-3. Should they be at this point and be 0-3? No, I think they're a better team than that. But ultimately, that's how they look. I mean, and that's what we thought they were going to. We thought they were just kind of disconnected.
The worst
I
part is
just
I don't
don't know
even think
what
it's Mike
it is.
McDaniel's fault. That's
I
the
don't
worst
know
part.
exactly what I think it. Well, I think it definitely. Oh,
I think the
I think it
locker room may
definitely
be
is,
his
but
fault a little bit because I mean, really, the coach should be monitoring the
I think
locker
the
room.
head
But
coach is definitely at fault, but I think part of it obviously is the team is just not connected. They're not on the same page, and
yeah,
it just feels like once one thing goes wrong, another thing is going right, but then another thing will go wrong. It's like one thing will go right, and then another thing will go wrong for them, and it's like just never stops. So. Yeah, so that's what I've landed on for tonight. I won't really go too much into tonight's game because I know it's 12.5 point spread, and it's not like Dolphins are bad. They really shouldn't win this game. But that's my bet for tonight. James Cook touchdown, Bills money line, and you're actually able to boost that with a 50% boost on DK. So I was able to get some nice plus money for that. I put $30 on it. So yeah, and that was the max bet. But yeah, that's all I have for tonight. And then on Sunday, so I mean, we can. Well, do you have anything for tonight, or are you?
I do,
No.
I do. So you went with James Cook as kind of like your player guy. I actually went with Keon Coleman. I think Keon Coleman's looked really good this season so far. He has yet to score a touchdown. Um, I didn't actually check his touchdown odds because it's hard to say. Bills are kind of a run first offense,
Yeah.
but I did take him for receiving yards. I mean, what he had over? Did he have over? Did he crack 100 in the first game?
I don't know. He definitely had some nice catches.
I mean, he had the one that really sealed the drive at the end. The one big catch down
Yeah,
the
he
middle.
probably did.
Yeah, I mean, he's been pretty really good. And I kind of said I think I said it in our week one podcast where uh, like he looked really good in the off season. It's definitely showing, and I think he's kind of established himself as that number one guy over Khalil Shakir. I think Shakir is kind of moving into that slot role a little bit more. And I think Keon Coleman's really taken a lot of touches, and he looks good. I took him for 50 plus, for 40 plus, it's minus 136, and for 50 plus, it's plus 118. I haven't made a bet on it yet, but I'm kind of in between those two numbers. Both
Yeah.
of those look really good, and I mean, I expect him to get a lot of targets. If I mean, Miami opened up against the Colts, and Michael Pittman is their receiver one, and he lines up very similar to where Keon Coleman lines up. And Michael Pittman had 90 plus and a touchdown. Um, and last week was Keishawn Boo is the one. Was it Keishawn? They played. Did Miami played New England last week. Am I tripping?
Um, Miami played New England last week.
Yeah, and I think it was Keyshawn Boot who had a monster game. So they, I mean, just as much as they haven't been able to stop the run, they haven't been able to stop the number one receivers either, or people who line up on the outside. They haven't been very good at stopping that either. So I actually really like Keon Coleman tonight as well. Maybe not to get in the end zone, but at least for receiving yards, he's been Josh Allen's top target in the receiving game. Um,
Yeah. He did.
so
He did hit 100 yards in week one, but
yeah,
he
yeah,
went
he's been
eight
looking really good,
receptions.
and he's just
Uh,
got that build. I mean, he's
week two he
tall.
fell
He's
off a little bit. Week two he fell off. Last week he caught 3 of 3 for 26. But yeah, I like this, but I do think he catches something. I think the bill like it's a good. I would say a good bet would be yeah. I mean you could
Yeah,
look at
and
that
last week
or
the
team
Bills are up
total over the
freaking
Bills.
21 to what 3 at halftime. I don't expect receivers to get touches at that point. I expect running the ball and running the clock out, and then obviously the fourth quarter, most of the Bills players didn't really play, so it's you know I don't really consider. Yeah, he fell off. I mean, if it was a close game, I'm sure you would have got more touches, but I mean at that point you're just trying to get the game over with. You know you won, so they're just running the ball. So
Yeah, and I think I mean yeah I don't mind a Bills team total over. I think we can get like 28.5. Anything like below 30, I'd say is fine. I think they can hit 30 points. But yeah, that's pretty much all I got for tonight. And then I guess we can go right into Sunday. So I mean, it's betting wise, I don't really have too much. So I guess we can kind of go quickly over the games. And just I'll give you like a quick, like a kind of what I think is good and like what I lean and what I'm kind of looking at. How do you
I
feel?
have
Is
four
that
picks listed for Sunday so far, so I don't have a
yeah.
ton, but I do have like a couple of ones that I'm looking at. But
Yeah, I guess we'll quickly go over this like top to bottom. We can go over it. So the first game we have is Packers Browns. I mean, I'm definitely on the side of the Packers.
yeah,
There's no way. I mean, I don't know if anybody is on the side of the Browns at this point. I mean, I don't know if anybody's really buying into that team at all.
yeah,
At
they
all,
couldn't even stop the Bengals and receive the
especially
Bengals
with the
look like.
Packers defense performing the way it is. I mean, yeah. But I don't have a bet, and I don't really because 8.5 is a big number, and I think the Packers, they should be able to score, but
If
it's like
Browns do have a weird way
tough.
of keeping it close. They do have a good defense.
They do,
I wouldn't take the spread by any means just
yeah,
because of that, but I would definitely take Packers. But
yeah.
they have a good defense. They have a weird way of keeping it close. Joe Flacco
One
has these weird
interesting,
bursts of
yeah,
of brilliance. So
yeah, and one interesting stat I do have, and I definitely am considering, doing something with this game, with Packers and Josh Jacobs related because of this. But Jacobs is on a big streak right now. I believe he's 11 games straight. This week will make it 12 games if he scores a touchdown. He's had 11 straight games with a touchdown. Packers are, I mean, Josh Jacobs is heavily used in that offense. I can't see on the road in Cleveland being a game that he doesn't score in. So I think I like that, but the problem is that Josh Jacobs touchdown's also juiced, so it's like minus 200. So it's like, yeah, it's minus 200. So it's
yeah,
like
Green Bay in
yeah,
general
you
is
have to be
juiced
pretty.
on that
But
game.
I really do like that. I think he's very likely to get in there. I think that he's on the road in a spot like this. They're going to use him a lot, and just like they always do. So that's the only thing I really have, though.
I didn't. I think I stayed away from this game for now. I just want to see what the lines open up for more. No Jaden Reed. Keep that in mind. He has that
Yeah,
he
yeah,
broke
it's
his
just
collarbone or
kind of a
whatever.
tough one. Like NFL spreads are kind of tough. You never want to lay a big number unless you're like really, really confident they're going to win, like super confident. it's really hard to get there with some
Yeah,
teams.
I think the only thing I really would think is I might take Jordan Love under rushing yards just because I don't think he's getting away from Myles Garrett. But I think either I think that the Browns, if there's one thing they do good, it's on defense, and it's kind of I mean look at how much rushing yards the Ravens had against the Browns last week. I think Derrick Henry had like 5 yards for most of the game. Lamar Jackson was held under 25. Like I think one thing for sure is that Jordan Love is not getting any rushing yards, so I think the under for rushing yards is probably where I would aim for. But that's probably it for me.
Yeah. Next one is Jets Buccaneers. It's kind of the same thing here.
Yeah,
I mean, you get a similar number as far as spread, but I kind of pick the same way. The Buccaneers should smoke them. I mean, we've
this is a
watched the
parlay
last.
game.
I feel like the Buccaneers really haven't even played their best football, and they've won both games on the road in impressive fashion. I mean, one was in Monday Night Football, so. I can't imagine at home against the Jets with Tyrod Taylor. But that was another starter we forgot to mention, Tyrod Taylor.
Yep.
I can't get to any side of the Jets here. I would definitely take the Bucks, but again, -7 is a tough number. So some people like to do little like teasers and stuff like that. And I would definitely put the Packers and the Bucks in the teaser. I would consider that,
Yeah, if
but
you're
other
looking to just like boost your parlay a little bit, like that's definitely one that is probably a for sure. And it's like
yeah, I
what
would
a
definitely
minus
put
three
those
something.
in.
Like
But
it might give you a couple extra bucks there. So I mean, it's something that if you're doing a nice parlay, like just pop it in there, a few extra bucks, no biggie.
the Buccaneers have had some. They have had some injuries up front. I don't know if Wirfs is back in this game, but they've had some other injuries too up front. So, that shouldn't really derail them from winning this game. They should absolutely still handle the Jets. I just, again, -7 is tough. I would only consider like a teaser for that.
The only thing is Tyrod Taylor is like sneaky good sometimes. That's something like I wouldn't take. I don't know if I would
It
take the
feels like
spread, but
it feels like he's good, but like he's just an exciting player to watch. I think when he's
yeah,
good, yeah, he can put up maybe 20 points, but
definitely a
like
rushing
on
yards
an
goal.
average
But
day, he honestly does not put up more than 10 points. Like on an average day, like dude does not move the ball at all. Like he stands in the, he does not throw the ball downfield. He's
yeah.
very timid. Just yeah, yeah, they're not. I don't think they're going to score. Honestly, I don't see the Jets scoring more than 10 points in that game. That's another thing you could consider is like Jets team total under or something like that. I don't know. Something like that. Yeah, that's definitely Buccaneers for me. Next one is going to be a fun one. Actually, I think this one has a potential to be game of the week, Mr. Justin. Rams and Eagles.
Yeah.
I
Uh,
think this
I
one has potential.
I was
Um,
confident in the Eagles
Go
money
ahead.
line the first 2 weeks. Like I don't think Chiefs are that good, and I'm gonna stand by that until something changes my mind on that. And obviously, week one against Dallas, I fully expect the Eagles to win their home opener. This
Hmm.
one, a little different. I'm a little hesitant on the money line just based off of how the offense has looked, and
Definitely feels
um,
like a trap game for the Eagles.
it does. And it's home. The only thing I can think of is just feed Saquon because Saquon pretty much manhandled the Rams both times last year. If you don't remember, he had I think two 70-plus yard touchdowns in both games, which is unheard of. So I think as long as Saquon's the main guy, as much as I don't want to wear him out, but I mean he definitely single handedly took down the Rams twice last year. So I guess that's kind of like the secret weapon in this game. And Sean McVay was unable to figure out how to stop it in 2 games. So I guess in this case, I'd probably expect a good game from Saquon
Yeah.
because their defense is pretty much the same exact as it was last year. Really, the offense is what changed for the Rams. Um,
Yeah, I mean that's the big thing for me. Like I think this Rams offense is looking, but like they haven't even played their best football yet, and they're also
yeah,
two
they
and
look a
zero.
lot better than last year. Their defense
And
is the
yeah, they look
exact
better.
same.
So yeah, I mean I feel +3.5 is definitely something I'm looking at for the Rams, but yeah, and it feels like a little bit of a trap game for the Eagles. but I have not pulled trigger on that. I don't know if
I'm staying
I'm
away from the
going
money
to.
line, but I think the way Saquon Barkley performed last year, again, I'm going to keep saying it. The Rams defense, there's like little to no changes on that defense this year. So I'm looking at Saquon all day for this one. I
Yeah,
think at least, at the very least, a touchdown scorer. But I mean, if you really
you
want to
also
go
could look at the
crazy,
over. I don't mind it. I
yeah,
mean, I don't love mid 40 overs, but if you like both teams to score, usually an over is not a bad look.
yeah. Especially if both teams can run the ball, and I think that's the biggest part. Is like both teams know how to run the ball pretty well. So
But the Eagles have, they've had their struggles. I could say on both sides of the ball a little bit. I mean, last week against the Chiefs, they were able to do some stuff, but they had their struggles. Week one, they definitely played really well, but they also allowed the Dallas Cowboys to score 20 plus points. And we saw what Dallas did the next week too against like what they allowed and what they
yeah,
gave up.
and
So I don't know.
the
I don't know
those
what.
20 points came in the first half, and the second half was a complete shutout. And as
Yeah, I don't
far
know
as
what I'm.
week two, like yeah, it like I said, Patrick Mahomes was working with two receiver one caliber receivers still, regardless of their two injuries. And so Patrick Mahomes is going to make plays. He's going to make a play or two.
Yeah.
It's Patrick Mahomes. Chiefs still are, I think, are not good right now, but at the end of the day, it is Patrick Mahomes. It is Andy Reid. They're going to score points. They're not going to get shut out. It's going to be they're going to keep the game. They're not going to be out of the game.
Yeah.
Whether they are able to win those games, I think, is the problem there. But they are going to keep the game. So I'm not too opposed to that. And Patrick Mahomes, it's not like he had a huge game either. Like it's really just running the ball. And I don't see Matthew Stafford hauling ass for 20 yards when he's in trouble. So I just don't see that happening. I think the biggest problem last week was Patrick Mahomes was kind of scrambling almost every other play. I mean, he had like triple the rushing yards that Jalen Hurts had, which if you think about it, is kind of backwards. I just don't see Matthew Stafford doing that, so I don't think that's going to kill us. I think in a weird way, I think this matchup is a little bit better than the Kansas City Chiefs as far as the defense versus the Rams offense, but it's still a tough one because the Rams are wired pretty well on offense, so it is one. That's why I think it's going to be such a good game. I definitely wouldn't money line this at all
Yeah.
because this could really go either way.
Yeah, I think it'll definitely be a good game. I think it has potential to be one of the best games of the week.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, again, Brett wise, I don't have anything at this moment. I'm actually, but I'm thing I'm closest to is definitely the 3.5 for the Rams because I think they could definitely cover the. I think they could lose definitely by a field goal. It could be like a field goal game for
I
sure.
think I'm just
So,
going to take Saquon for like
um,
80 plus. I think that's safe against the Rams. He's had their number. I like it, and he hasn't hit 80 this year yet. So it's only a matter of time before Saquon of all people to hit that stride. And I think this is where he does it at home against a team that he manhandled last year. I think he does it again a little bit.
yeah,
Whether they win or not, I think Saquon's going to be the star of this game. So
I
that's
mean
kind of where I'm
yeah,
leaning.
he's pretty much the star in all the Phillies Eagles game, right?
I will say, yeah, I
Mm.
guess so. I mean, last week, for week one was definitely Jalen Hurts, I would say.
Unless
But
Jalen Hurts is able to get one of those bombs off that he throws down to Devontae Smith and
he got one
uh,
off last game. It was late in the game,
AJ
but he
Brown,
got one off against the Chiefs. He got one off. It was a great throw. It was
or
an
if
all-out
AJ
blitz,
Brown
a
makes a
seven-man blitz.
miraculous one-handed catch
Yeah. Well,
for a
yeah,
first
that
down.
was. I think it's only a matter of time. I mean, the Eagles started off slow last year on offense, and everybody was like, "Oh, dude, it's the same thing as last year. Downfall. It's going to continue." And then after that bye week, something just turned around, and I think and I think the problem is the new offensive coordinator. He's trying. Yeah, he was a quarterbacks coach before or whatever. I think it's just yeah, you got to let him get his footing. It takes a while, new team and everything. And it was the same thing with Kellen Moore. Uh, I think just give it some time. Let him develop. Let him develop more schemes to get receivers open. The biggest problem is nobody's creating separation. I mean, if you look at all the plays, Jalen Hurts has nowhere to throw to. Uh, I think it's just like he's got to find a way to scheme these guys open, and if he can do that, this offense is going to look just as good as it did at the end of last year.
Yeah. next game we got is Falcons Panthers. I've just seen nothing from the Panthers. It
Yeah,
feels like the Panthers are just lifeless. I mean, they showed a little bit of life last week, and they kind of came back against the Cardinals, but they ultimately lost. I can't find any way. This is another one of those games where it's like I can't find a way to the dog side of it.
Atlanta looks
I
decent
definitely like
too.
the Atlanta. Yeah, I think Atlanta's been looking good.
Yeah.
Bijan's been a freaking tank, dude.
Yep.
And we kind of talked about that before the season started. He's been a tank, just like what we thought. Really, and that offensive line is really good. I think really good too. So,
Yep. They have a really good
um,
receiver one. Drake London's been also looking pretty solid. I think he had 50 plus in both games. So
so I think they have all the weapons they really need to be a good, solid team. I don't see any reason why they can't cover 5.5. So that's actually something I'm very close to. It's also something I have not bet at the moment because 5.5, kind of
yeah,
weird.
I'm
But
definitely
that's probably
eyeballing
one of the more
Atlanta.
confident spreads that I like. I'll probably play that straight up.
I usually do a
Um,
money line parlay for every week, and they're definitely on my money line parlay. I haven't put the bet in, but I have it in my bet slip. Atlanta's definitely on there.
because I also think the Falcons' defense is improved from last year.
Oh yeah,
I think their defense is better than the Cardinals' defense to this point, at least.
small sample
And
size, but yeah, I agree.
so I think I'm more confident in laying 5.5 with the Falcons than I am 5.5 with the Cardinals at this point. The Cardinals are just, we'll talk about the Cardinals more, but yeah, they've just not been very impressive to me. Um, yeah, so that's pretty much where I'm at with that one. And you like the Falcons obviously too. I'm
Yeah,
assuming.
probably just a money
Yeah.
line in for my money line parlay, but I'm not gonna. I don't have any player props yet by any means. Probably will focus Drake London in that game, but um, just because
Yeah, or I
Carolina
mean,
gets attacked in the
and
air a lot.
Carolina can't stop the run. Carolina's not going to be able to
Yeah,
stop
that too.
Bijan's going to do what he wants, so too. So, but anyways, yeah. So next game we got is Colts Titans. I think this could be a sneaky good game. Sneaky good game. I don't think it's going to be like game of the week or anything, but I think it's going to be sneaky.
Dude,
I
the
know a lot of
biggest
people.
surprise this year is definitely
Yeah,
Indianapolis. I will tell you that they are the biggest surprise.
yeah. And
Handedly.
I'm not so like I'm not like completely sold on them yet. Like I want to see more from Danny Dimes. Like
Well, if he
for
can
like
notch off three in a row for like what the first time in his career, and even touching that number, or even thinking about that number, I mean, he's looked good. He
yeah.
if he continues on the way that he's playing, he might be in MVP talks, which is crazy to think about. And not only is he playing good, but they also have Jonathan Taylor,
But
who
yeah, I mean
is
that's the thing.
just
They
a
do have
monster.
weapons.
I
Yeah,
mean,
that's the thing. They do have weapons, and that's where I don't know. Like it's only been 2 weeks. The teams they played, they're all right. I'm not really. Again, it's a very small sample size. I want to see more from Danny Dimes. So this is a tough Titans team. If we break it down, I mean they're not. They're not the best team. Yeah, they're not good. They're great. They're not good. I mean, they have a rookie quarterback, and they're in stepping stone phases right now as a team. But I will say one of the strong points of the Titans is their defensive line, and they do, they're aggressive. Overall, they're an aggressive team. So I think they can potentially keep it close because I'm going to say that they potentially can keep it close because of the fact that Danny Dimes I just want to see more from him. But like pick wise, I mean the Colts I think are going to win. They should win this game. But like spread wise, I would look at maybe the Titans or the Titans spread just because I think they can keep it close. I think it could be a potentially a good game for them. They haven't been like tremendous. I mean they kept it close with the Rams for a while. They kind of got blown out in the second half. Then they kept it close in week one too. So I don't really. I'm not sure if I really like. I'm not sure if I'm ready to fade the Titans in a division game. But yeah,
I I the one bet I was looking for in this one was the Colts money line. It's minus 198. For my parlay, it's for my money line parlay. I like it. I have that in my bet slip. Um, because
Yeah. I just want to
the
see more
stride
from
they're
Danny
in
Dimes
is
at this point.
impressive. So
But yeah, I don't really have much. I just want to see a little bit more. I know I'm not confident in the money line enough to pay 198 for the Colts. So I like that's where I'm kind of at. I'm just like not really. I'm in limbo with that one. Um, all right, so next one is Raiders Commanders. I don't know if you have
another
anything
quarterback
for that.
injury we haven't talked about is Jaden Daniels. So I guess
No,
this.
I mentioned him. I
Oh,
mentioned
you
him.
did. All right.
Yeah,
Yeah. No.
I didn't mention his replacement, but I did mention that he was
Is it
injured.
Marcus Mariota still?
Yeah, it's Marcus Mariota.
Yeah.
Yep. So it'll be Marcus Mariota versus Geno Smith. I think this could be a very close game, and I'm
Yeah.
actually and I told you this week that I'm on the Raiders. I do like the Raiders because Geno Smith, he played really bad against the Vikings. That
I
was
know.
like
Yeah.
he played really really bad, and I really have not seen him play that bad. Like ever. Like I mean, honestly, like he's maybe had like one or two games in his career that he's been that bad, but I don't see him doing that 2 weeks in a row.
Yeah, but the
And I
Chargers are a good team. Like I
and
mean
that too.
The
Yeah,
Chargers were gonna win that game
yeah, it was the
from the get
Chargers.
go.
Yeah, my bad. Yeah,
Uh, they were gonna win from the. I mean, I had all I would have put my a paycheck on the Chargers winning that game. Uh, but yeah, he I think there's a lot more. Like Gino had those games with Seattle too. It's just one of those things. Like that's what you get with Gino. Like you're gonna get those sour games, uh, where he's kind of
but I
trying to
think
be the
he's an overall
superhero.
solid quarterback. Like he does put them ball like that game against the Chargers. He was just plain out missing throws. Like if you go back, those three interceptions, like he was missing throws. Like he was just missing guys, and he was just off target. He's not normally that off target. I just think it might have been just an off game for him, in a weird spot. Monday Night Football. I don't know, but I think they can bounce back in this game. And I'm not. I don't. I think the Chargers defense is probably better overall than the Commanders. I mean, I think they definitely have better coaching on defense, and I think they can definitely overall be a little bit of a better defense. They have some new pieces, but I mean, the Chargers already in 2 weeks have shown that they're, really good on defense. So, um,
For plus
yeah,
money,
I mean,
I definitely.
I like the Raiders side of things. I'm not going to back off of what I was saying preseason about the Commanders. Even though they smoked the Giants in Week 1, I think the Giants play really just comes down to Russell Wilson play. If he plays well, they play well. If he doesn't play well, they
I do think
they
this is gonna
stink.
be a
So
Brock Bowers. I have a funny feeling it's gonna be a Brock Bowers like legacy
yeah,
game. I mean, if you watched last week against Green Bay, obviously Green Bay is a much better team than the Raiders, but I mean, both tight ends were hitting licks on them, and Tucker Kraft had one of the better games you'll see from a tight end. Um, and
yeah,
Yeah, I think Brock Bowers is set to have a pretty big game this week. He
yeah.
kind of had a he had a mid game last week against the Chargers, but I mean it's only a matter of time. Brock Bowers is kind of a monster, and I think this is going to be one of those games where you're going to look back and be like, oh yeah, this is why he was Rookie of the Year candidate.
Yeah. So I do have a bet on this one. I will play. I have Raiders money line, plus 150, right now, and
I
yeah,
think for
that would
I
be.
don't know I didn't look too far into this game, but I think Brock Bowers touchdown score is probably going to be on my to do
And I
list.
mean that's not even including if Jaden McDaniels plays, but I mean if he plays, who knows if he's going to be 100% or not? It's a knee injury, so I mean who the hell knows with that? I mean it's supposedly not terrible, but it's only supposed to be like maybe a couple weeks. But
Marcus Mariota's not bad. I mean, he
I
came
think
in
he's more day to
once
day.
last year and he looked all right. I
I
think
think
he
Jaden
actually won the
McDaniels is
game.
kind of like day to day right now, so it sounds like he's like on the verge of not playing though. So I don't, and yeah, you're right. I think the drop off from Jaden McDaniels to Marcus Mariota. I don't think there's going to be like that much of a difference there. But I still, again, I don't think Geno Smith is also going to look as bad, and I don't think Geno Smith. I certainly don't think is going to look like Russell Wilson in Week 1. And the Raiders' offensive line is better than the Giants' offensive line too. So I like the Raiders to just be able to put up a fight at least. So I like that.
Max
Next one.
Crosby also had a good game against the Chargers. So I mean, if he had a good game against the Chargers, uh, with a worse offensive line, I think you might see Max Crosby get a sack. So look for that line. I don't really know what the odds would look like there, but I like Max Crosby for a sack in that as well, especially if it's not Jaden Daniels back there.
Yeah, we got the next one is one we've kind of talked about before.
Jake Browning versus
Bengals,
Carson Wentz.
Bengals, Vikings. So yeah, I like the Vikings overall just because I think they have the better roster, and I think
Yep,
you
I'm
know
with
I
you on
think
that.
I think Carson Wentz can come in and look a little bit better than what they've looked in week 1 and week 2. Like I said, I kind of mentioned before, the Vikings really have not had very many good quarters of play. I mean, they had one fourth quarter comeback, and then against the Bears, they were getting really smacked up in that game. Before that, then obviously week 2 they just really low scoring against the Falcons. They really just did not do much at all. So. Uh, I think the Viking, I think they can potentially look better this week with Carson Wentz in there, just because James J. McCarthy has just not been good to start at least. Um, I think that could, I think Carson Wentz could potentially just provide a little bit of a spark. So I like the Vikings -3. How confident am I that they're gonna go out there and beat on them? I don't think they're gonna blow them out.
No, yeah, I
Then,
agree.
but I think they can definitely win by a field goal. Um, and yeah, I mean, you can even take like a 2.5 or something like that just to make sure you
Yeah,
can
Vikings
cover. But
kicker has been on
I
one
think they
too.
definitely can be able to. I think they should be able to, step up and win here in a spot they need them to. And I also just don't trust the Bengals defense. I mean, yeah, they haven't looked great the first 2 weeks. Let up 20 plus points against the Jaguars. Trevor Lawrence is another thing we'll talk about, but Trevor Lawrence has just looked like crap in the last couple weeks. I mean, they've gotten
Yeah,
lucky. I feel like they've just not proven what I thought they would. So, but yeah, I'm definitely on the side of the Vikings.
yeah, I agree. I think experience is probably going to win this. If the Vikings win, it's going to be because of the experience on the Vikings side at this point.
And they're at
Um,
home too,
yep, home loud. They have a very loud stadium. Uh, again, I think the line I'm going to look for is Carson Wentz rushing yards for this game. Um, I'm debating the money line. I think it's like minus like 160. Is it like minus 162 or something? Um, it's fine. I'd feel more comfortable in Carson Wentz rushing just because I know how he plays. Um, just because I've spent years watching him in Philly and even in Kansas City. When he went in for Patrick Mahomes for a few games, he's a good scrambler. Um, so I think that's, but it's just the line's not out, and I can't imagine it being too high just because he is a backup. Usually, whether no, I mean, no matter who it is, if a backup run goes in, unless it's Tyler Huntley, the rushing yard is usually pretty low for those quarterbacks, and for
Yes.
Carson Wentz, I think it might be worth looking at. But
Also, don't mind to look at the over at 41.5. It's pretty low. I like low 40 totals, especially when you think both teams could potentially put up a fight. I mean,
another
obviously,
thing,
Jake Browning would be the side that I would be kind of more worried about, but if I'm taking the Vikings, but I do like the fact that Jake Browning actually got most playing. Like he came in first quarter last game, so he pretty much played the whole game, and he played pretty well. So I think I like that he at least got some like NFL playing time. Like he's been on the field. He's not just coming in fresh and like hasn't played at all. He's got fresh legs. I think he's he'll be ready to go and could potentially put up some points for sure against the Vikings. So I could see
yeah,
this being like a 24-20 or like something like that, like 20 plus points to 20 points and on the other side, and it's just a smaller like a touchdown spread or something like that.
Yeah, and I also think another thing to look out for is T.J. Hawkinson. CJ Carson Wentz is also a big tight end guy. He's one of those quarterbacks that love a good connection with the tight end. And think about it, he played behind Patrick Mahomes the last 2 years, and even in Philly, Zach Ertz is his best season was that Super Bowl season with Carson Wentz, uh, and I think CJ Wentz is one of those quarterbacks that value the tight end position, especially in the passing game. So look out for TJ Hawkinson to have a good game.
Yeah. Yeah, I think he should have a good game. Justin Jefferson could potentially have a good game as well, depending on how Carson Wentz looks. I mean, it's really just contingent on that. But, yeah, next one we got is Steelers Patriots. This one I don't even know. I mean, I honestly didn't even look into this one. I don't even know.
Pittsburgh looked so good week 1 and looked so bad week 2. I was just
well, here's the thing. I mean, the Steelers haven't been able to stop a high school football team offense. Okay, Steelers defense is out there looking like college defense out there right now.
Yeah, I mean, think about what the Jets did in Buffalo, and then look at what they did in against Pittsburgh.
And it's weird because
the
Steelers are usually like a good defense. Usually the Steelers are like
their defense is like stacked.
And then yeah, they've just struggled on defense. TJ Watt hasn't had a sack in now 6 straight games. This is a tough one. And obviously the Patriots are not great. They're okay, but they're not great. They're 1-1 right now. It feels like they could be 0-2.
Honestly,
it's one of those things.
As far as betting, I'd probably stay away from this game. As far as if I were to pick a team to win, it'd probably be Pittsburgh. But in a bettor's world, I'm probably staying away from this game.
Yeah,
I mean,
for sure.
maybe I'd maybe take Stephon Diggs for reception yards. They've been horrible against the pass. I mean, fucking Justin Fields tossed up almost 300 on them. That's the only thing I can think of. But
I just don't know. This game has me, and this game is like just skip it. I just don't even know. I have no idea.
It's either going to be really high scoring or really low scoring, and I don't think there's going to be an in between. So I don't know.
I mean, Aaron Rodgers look at him week 1 and then week 2. It's like I have no idea.
It's so weird.
I have no idea.
I had nothing for this game.
Next one is actually a pretty good one. Texans Jaguars. I think Texans are a little bit mispriced here. I think plus 114. I feel like it should be a little closer than that. Maybe even Texans a slight favorite, but maybe on the road. Okay, I can see it. Texans haven't looked very good. They're obviously their offensive line, just like we talked about before. The Texans' offensive line has really struggled. They cannot run the ball. So that's kind of where
they kept it close with Tampa Bay, though. I'll say that they kept it close. They kept it close with the Rams too.
Yeah. I mean, they're able to keep it close, but in the fourth quarter, they can't do anything because they can't run the ball and they don't have an offensive line.
Yeah, and I guess the way I look at it is the Houston's defense is what's kind of keeping them in games right now. And as far as both of the offenses they've played, I mean, obviously the Rams is obviously significantly better than Jacksonville's offense, and I think even Tampa Bay is better offensively than Jacksonville. So I actually don't hate. So this was actually one of the lines I had. I actually don't hate the Texans money line plus 114.
Yeah.
I mean, if their defense plays the way they've been playing, and if they can just nudge it a little bit on the offensive side. And again, they had a much better offensive game in week 2. Granted, they didn't win, but it was a damn close game. I mean, Jacksonville is the worst of the 3 teams.
Yeah, I'm on the side of the Texans as well. I just don't think the Jaguars are as good as. Well, definitely not as good as their price. I mean, minus 135. I feel
Jaguars are 2-0, right? They're 2-0.
No, 1-1. They lost
1-1
by 2. They lost the goal line stand. They failed last week. But yeah, I just don't try. And yeah, you're right. You put it right on the nose. Like I think the Texans defense is what's kind of carrying them. Their offense is really what's struggling right now. Jaguars defense, it's like one of those defense that's like yet to be proven. It's been okay, but it feels like that on paper it should be good, but it's not been really as good as advertised, at least through 2 weeks. So I think the Texans offense could do something, and we've seen that when the Texans are able to score points right now. It's through Nico Collins, through C.J. Stroud being able to push the ball down the field, Dalton
We
Schultz
haven't
making
seen a big
plays.
big Nico Collins
Um,
game yet either. We haven't seen that yet. I don't even think he's
yeah,
hit the
no,
end
we haven't
zone.
seen
I
a
mean, oh
big
no, he
game
did.
from
He did.
him.
He scored last
Well, we
week.
haven't seen a huge game from him, but he did. He has had like touchdown catches. Like that's kind of what's helped him, I think, a little bit because
It's
they
only a
haven't
matter
been
of
able to
time
run the
before he
ball.
explodes, though. He's one of those receivers where, like, when he goes off, it's usually for close to 200 yards. It's not just a 100 yards. It's close to 200 yards.
Yeah,
And I think it's
but
only a matter. I think this
they
might
just
be the week.
can't run the ball. Yeah, and I think they should be able to. He should be able to get targets. Dalton Schultz should be getting targets. I mean, obviously, just because they haven't been able to run the ball. That's where they've kind of leaned. So when they do play
Hey,
well, it'll
Nick
be
Chubb even
because of
showed
them.
some hope last week against Tampa. Yeah, he had a couple of big plays. I think he had that big reception
He
touchdown.
only really had that one big run, that touchdown run. I mean,
I,
Nick Chubb is
hey, you know what? It's better
I don't
than
know.
anything he did in Cleveland the previous year. If we're being honest, I don't.
Cleveland, he was a beast. I
Well,
mean, he was the
after
only
post
thing. He was the
injury,
only thing
he wasn't
the
good.
Cleveland had.
Post
Besides,
injury, he did nothing.
yeah, yeah. Post. I think with the knees and like his age, I just don't see him being like a game changer for them. Yeah, he might be able to break off a run or two, but I don't see him being like a game changer, and especially in like this game. But yeah, I think yeah, like I said, I'm on the side of the Texans still, and
I
we
think
kind of
for
talked
plus
about Trevor
money, I like
Lawrence.
the values there for sure.
Trevor Lawrence is just not proven. Like, you're throwing 2 interceptions in a game you absolutely should have won. It's like Trevor Lawrence is one of those guys. Like, I've always been on the fence with him as far as like just liking him as a quarterback. I don't know, like, just thinking that he's good. I'm more on the side at this point of like, I just don't think he's that good. I just don't think he's that good at the end of the day. And CJ Stroud should be able to win this matchup. So yeah, that's kind of where I'm at this one. I just think CJ Stroud should be able to beat Trevor Lawrence in this game because I don't like Trevor Lawrence. I don't think he's very, very good. Yeah, next game we got kind of a bad one. Kind of sucks. Saints Seahawks. I really don't have anything on this one. Do you have
Yeah, I mean,
anything?
I'm pretty confident in the Seahawks, but I'm not going to bet on them to win.
Yeah, I'm not gonna
I
bet
mean, I
on
might
it.
put it in my money line parlay, but outside of
Saints
that, I
have.
don't really have anything crazy.
I think Saints are 0-7. I think in their last 7 games at home, which they're on the road this week. But I don't know. I just don't know. This team is like so bad. I just don't know how they're gonna play. Feels like they could be sneaky. Like they could sneakily keep it close, or they might get blown out. I just will not bet that. So yeah, I guess we can just skip over that one. Broncos, Chargers. That could be a sneaky good one. Chargers. We kind of talked a little bit about it before. They have looked amazing, really, in these first 2 weeks. I mean, really, they kind of fixed what they needed to on the offensive line. They moved their right tackle over to left tackle because of the Slater injury. And that's worked out really well for them. I mean, we've seen Justin Herbert just absolutely go off in 2 weeks straight. And I mean, really, if we look at the talent he's got, I mean, I could easily say that he's maybe got the same level of talent or even less talent than he did before. Although Keenan Allen, he's turning on the vintage, he's turning on the vintage tape a little bit with, his play over the last couple weeks. I mean, this team has just looked really good. So I don't see a reason why to come off of them. I don't know where you're at with this one, especially at home, but being the first home game, I like the Chargers here.
Yeah.
I don't see any reason why. Their defense has played well. Could potentially look in an under too, but I just think the Chargers offense has been playing so well lately. I mean, I don't see a reason why not to lay the 2.5. The books have seemed to want to try to fade the Broncos the last couple of weeks. They've been like evenly priced against all the teams that they played, and they're almost. The
Ah, yeah,
Chargers
they
are
almost
like
accurate.
slight favorites here. I don't think they're like heavy. I mean, they're slight favorites, but the Chargers aren't like super heavy favorites. They're not minus 200. So I like the price for the Chargers. I think they should be favorites in this game. I think they should win this game, and I like the bet. So I'll probably play the Chargers minus 2.5. Yeah, that's where I'm
Yeah,
at.
I agree. Denver's defense has been a little underwhelming as well. Um, I still don't like. I mean, Chargers. The one thing they haven't been able to do is run the ball very well outside of Justin Herbert. That Amari and
Marion
Hampton.
Hampton, yeah.
He's kind of been not great. And Najee
Yeah,
Harris
I
just
think
been
he's a rookie though, right?
yeah.
He's got to get his feet wet. I think he's still got time. He's showed some sparks though. He's definitely got speed, which is good. He's a speedy back.
Yeah, no, I do like the Chargers though here.
Yeah,
But I don't have any player
I'm on the
props.
Chargers. Um, yeah, I guess we can just move on to the next one. The Cowboys Bears. This could also be a good one. Now, the line has flipped on this one. I actually just noticed this, and I might actually have to go ahead and
Yeah, it's
just take
almost
it
dead even.
now.
I think both are minus one something.
Well,
Dallas.
so before I was actually getting minus 105 for Dallas. Now I'm getting minus 118. So the line is actually flipped. I am going to, yeah, I was going to be on the Cowboys already, but now I'm definitely going to be on the Cowboys.
Yeah,
I'm
that's
going to
one
go
of the
ahead
ones
and
I
lock
wrote.
that
I
in.
had Cowboys money line minus 118.
So I will probably play that. I'm actually probably tempted. I'm probably going to just get it in today because I think it could move even more. I already thought it was going to move, and I just noticed now that it moved. So, yeah. So Duck Cowboys is the play for me. I just think they haven't been great. Their defense hasn't been great, but
They can
I don't
score.
trust the Bears as far as I can throw them.
Yeah,
I don't trust Caleb Williams. At least I can say that Dak Prescott can put up some yards, and at least he can do something. Especially with CeeDee Lamb and George Pickens. I mean, they've been great. CeeDee Lamb was great for at least the first half of the Eagles game, and George Pickens was amazing in that Giants game. So I think they can come out and play well. Get a win, get another win. They got a lucky win last week, and obviously in overtime. But I think they can handle the Bears this week. Yeah, and I think their defense could look, potentially a little better too. Because ultimately, I think the Bears want to run the ball and try to lean on that. But that's kind of where the Dallas Cowboys have tried to stiffen up is where their run game and especially up front. And I think they could potentially do that this week, hopefully. So
yeah.
yeah, I'm on
I
the
have the
Cowboys.
same thing.
Really not too much to that. I mean, it's minus 118 right now. So if you're planning to bet. I had minus 102 or minus 105 earlier for the Cowboys this
I'll
week.
probably take CeeDee Lamb for receptions again. He's hit both weeks, and I think that's going to continue. I mean, Dak Prescott throws 40 to 50 times a game, so I think that I'm going to continue that trend.
Mm-hmm.
But I
Yeah,
mean,
so I like that.
as far as money line is definitely the obvious one here. I don't know. I don't even know how it's that close, honestly. Just based on the history of the
I
two
mean, the
teams.
Cowboys haven't looked great. I mean, yeah, in both games they've let up 20 plus points. And last week they looked like shit, right? I mean, they let up 2 bombs late, and I mean it was
Yeah,
bad. So I could see it, but I just ultimately think that they're going to play better this week. I don't see that same thing happen. I mean, I think we just saw a little bit of Russ magic there at the end. And I just don't see that same thing happening with Caleb Williams. Caleb Williams is just one of those guys I do not trust. Misses a lot of throws. He's just kind of like he's accurate in some ways, but he's also very inaccurate. And I just don't think he's going to be able to make the plays when it needs to happen. And and it feels like he's also a little bit on the timid side. Like he likes to tuck the ball and do things himself sometimes. And I don't trust them at all to put up points here. So yeah. Next game we got
Arizona versus 49ers. Yeah.
49ers. Yep, Cardinals. We kind of mentioned the quarterback injury with Mac Jones. Brock Purdy. Mac Jones is taking his place. Brock Purdy should be out again, I think, this week with the turf toe. So you're getting minus 162 for the 49ers. And on the other side, we'll kind of talk about that. The Cardinals have just not been impressive at all. This offense have just so interesting thing. And both of the games in the fourth quarter so far, they have put up no points. And in the second half of both games they played, they've only put up a total of 10 points in those two games. The Cardinals just have not been able to put it together, especially late in games. And I don't trust them as far as I can throw them at this point. I tried.
Yeah, I
I
stayed
tried to
away
do
from
it,
this one myself
but in week
because I don't
one,
I
I
don't
had their
trust.
team total over. They fell short of that against the Saints, and I felt like that was a favorable matchup for them. And then week two, they almost choked away the lead against the Panthers, and the Panthers have been terrible. So I don't trust them at all. I feel like, yeah, they should be able to win because Mac Jones is starting, but Mac Jones looked really good last week. Um, and I don't. This is another game where I don't really know where I'm at because Mac Jones. I don't know how Mac Jones is going to look, but I definitely don't trust the Cardinals. So it's like I don't know.
Yeah, I stayed away from this one like
I'm
completely.
probably
I
on the
mean,
49ers pick wise, but I do not think I'm going to have a bet on this one. Ultimately, I just it's just I don't know. I want to take the Cardinals, but they just have not proved what I want to see. And
I
I
mean,
just
pick
have
wise, at
not
the
seen
very
what I want
least,
to see.
Arizona's at least won the games. That's the only thing that I can see
Yeah,
that
they
was.
won, but it's like
But yeah,
they could easily be 0-2. I
yeah,
mean, they could easily be 0-2. So against bad teams too. It's not even against good teams, against bad teams. So, uh, anyways, yeah,
it is a
the next
division game
game,
though, so you know you never know.
yeah, and I think it could be definitely close. That's the one thing, but yeah, I don't know. Next one we have is KC Chiefs versus the Giants. What do you think on this one? What do you think? I'm
Um,
interested to see what you think about this one.
I so I I yeah Giants, yeah, look offensively look a lot better than they have in the past. Defensively, not very much. It's hard to, and Kansas City hasn't really looked good on either side of the ball, to be quite honest with you. Xavier Worthy is back though, or at least
I mean, the biggest thing for me is going to be that obviously Russell Wilson. We talked about the Giants. Their play and their ability to stay in games is mostly contingent on how he plays. If he looks like shit, like week one, they look like shit, and they put up what threes, six. They put up 6 points through three quarters. Like it's terrible. And then week two they put up 34 points and they keep it super close with the Cowboys. So I ultimately don't. So I don't. I think this week, for me, I think I see a little bit of a closer game. I think 6 is a little bit too much to be laying if you're on the Chiefs side at this point, especially with how bad they've looked. I think the Giants defense in prime time could look a little bit better. But I'm really not. I'm really
I will
not
say
sold on the spread right
overall, if
now.
I had like Giants look like better than Chiefs right now. It's
Yeah.
which is crazy to say right now. I can't even believe those words are coming out of my mouth. But
But it
the
feels
only
like the
thing
Chiefs
is,
the Chiefs should win this game.
yeah, the Chiefs do get Xavier Worthy back this weekend, so we'll see what happens there. I'd stayed away from a money line, but I am confident that with the Xavier Worthy back, I'm going to do exactly what I did when he was playing, and I'm going to take him for a touchdown score. It's plus 125, and I mean, even when they get in the red zone, I know Patrick Mahomes likes to do those little those little like flat plays with his receivers. He loves to do that in the red zone. And Xavier Worthy is usually that dude. So I like Xavier Worthy for a touchdown.
Yeah.
But money line, I don't think I can do it. I don't think I can do a money line for
The
this one.
Chiefs offensive line has really struggled, so that's going to be the big thing to me to
Yeah,
watch, like how their offensive
definitely
line
not
plays.
taking any running backs in this game. Not even on the Giants
Um,
side. I just can't pull myself to do that.
Pick wise, I definitely think the Chiefs can come back and they should be able to, win that
Unironically, I
first
think this
game.
could be another high scoring game. Uh,
Yeah, but
both
I do think
defense.
the Giants could find a weird way to cover that
Yeah, I
6.
know.
So,
It's weird
um,
saying that now, but Russell Wilson, I will say, Russell Wilson has added a little bit of spark to the Giants.
yeah, and I mean, if the Chiefs find a way to lose this game, God, everybody's gonna be talking about how the Chiefs are gonna miss the playoffs, and it's gonna be awesome.
Yeah, no,
It's gonna
I
be great
strongly think that the Chiefs are
if
just
they
not
find
good
a way to
anymore.
lose this game.
I think they're just hitting like the end of that dynasty, whatever dynasty they had. I think the embarrassment of what happened in the Super Bowl is enough to really tear a team down, and uh, I think we're seeing it. I think we're seeing it.
Well, they ultimately don't have the same talent as they once did. I mean, and they're getting older too. I
Well,
mean, Travis
honestly,
Kelce is
I
getting
kind
older.
of disagree. I think they have all the talent in the world, especially as many people as much as people want to stay on the receiver core. Uh, Again, they have four receiver one, whether it's in the past or now, worthy receivers. They have Rashee Rice when he's back from his suspension. They have Xavier Worthy. They have Hollywood Brown and Juju Smith-Schuster. That should
Yeah, but
be in his.
their
I mean,
whole
that
offensive
is
line is bad though.
yeah.
They've
And
changed
that's
their
the
whole
problem.
offensive line.
That's the problem.
They've
They
changed
have
that
the
whole thing.
firepower. It's just I just I don't know.
Yeah,
Maybe
and
they
when we
have
see the
too
Chiefs
much
had a
firepower,
chance,
and that's
we see
why.
we see like Mahomes scrambling around for his life and scrambling for 18-yard tutties. Like that's what he's been
Yeah,
doing lately this season.
yeah.
uh,
I wouldn't be surprised if the Giants pull this upset off. I wouldn't be surprised. It's going to be an upset because obviously you know Vegas is going to favorite the Chiefs over pretty much anyone, regardless of how they look. That's just how it is. So I guess if you felt as confident in me as in regards to the Chiefs' downfall, obviously the Giants' money line is definitely uh, heavy right now, um, on the plus side. So it might be worth it if you're as confident in me in the Chiefs' downfall. But again, I stayed away from it for this game just because it's the Giants, so you never really
yeah,
know.
I think honestly the Chiefs do win this game. I think it could be like I said. I think it could definitely be closer than 6
Yeah,
though. I think it
but I
could be
did
like
take
a
Xavier
field
Worthy
goal.
for a touchdown. I think having him back, short screens, short passes, you'll see a lot of those, especially to Xavier Worthy. So um, that's why I took him for. That's the only thing I pull myself to picking from this game right now.
Next one is Monday night. So that was Sunday night football. Chiefs Giants. Monday night is Lions Ravens. This is gonna be a banger. It's gonna be a banger game. Can't wait for that
Yeah,
one.
this is. I guess I can just start by saying take the over.
Yeah, that's where I was at. For me.
Detroit looks a lot more Detroit-like. They just put up 50, which is what they were doing last year. So it looks like they're starting to kind of gain that traction that they had last year. I think new offense. I think it's the same thing as the Eagles are going through right now. The first two games, or the first game for Detroit was a little slow. They couldn't really get it rocking. But obviously, it was only a matter of time. They have an insane offense. It was only a matter of time, and I think you saw last week they're getting their footing back, and obviously Baltimore is Baltimore. Um, so I would just go right for the over on this one, to be
Yeah,
honest.
yeah, that's where I'm at. Overs. So I mean, overs on Monday night games typically have not been, or at least on primetime games have typically not been great. But
I'm making the
um,
exception. I
I will
call it a
say the
hunch.
books. So I mean, the books are I think, trying to change that kind of percentage though. Because like in the past, like they were hitting at a really high rate, like unders were hitting at like a 60-70% rate in some years. Now it's more like I think 50, like closer to 60%. So yeah, I think it's gonna start to see a little bit of movement. I think the books are just gonna start to see that, but I don't think this is one of those games that you can go and take an under. Yeah, definitely would take an over. I think both offenses definitely have avenues to score here, and that's honestly the strong point of both teams. So I just don't see. I would definitely lean on this, like pick wise. I definitely lean Ravens. I think the Ravens should be able to win.
And both
Um,
defense have looked less than ideal. I mean, yeah, Detroit put up 52, but they did allow the Bears to score 20 plus. And on the Ravens side, they did choke a huge lead against the Bills, and they also allowed the Cleveland Browns to catch up on offense.
yeah,
Um, so I mean, both and obviously the biggest acquisition on the Ravens side in the offseason was Jair Alexander, who has been I think he's injured now, but even in the first game and a half, looked horrible. He got smoked every play. I think he got benched at one point because he was playing so bad. Um, so I mean, really, both defense have been less than what they were last year, I guess. And
yeah.
so again, that just feeds me to take the over.
Yeah, I would definitely take the over or Baltimore team total over. Let me take a look and see what that is at right now. It is at 29.5. I still don't mind that. Actually, it's at minus 108 for 29.5, so I actually really like that because I definitely think they get to 30. And they get to 30. I think they can definitely have a chance to win this game. And the Lions can put up 30 as well. I just don't know how confident I am in them actually like pulling through and winning the game in the end. But I mean, the Ravens. We've talked about this before. The Ravens find a weird freaking way to lose games late and like do weird shit late, like not go for it on 4th and 2 when they need to. They find a way to like make games close. So I don't know. I think it's definitely gonna be close, but I definitely would lean towards like the points. Take any points. Take like overs and stuff like that.
Touchdown scorers.
Yeah. So
Probably gonna be a heavy. Like you're probably gonna see. I would take Jameer Gibbs. I would take Derrick Henry. I would even maybe sprinkle a little bit of JMO in there. He definitely popped off last week. Earned his money. I think he's going to continue to do that. So um, I think if I were to pick three touchdown scorers, it'd be Derrick Henry, it'd be Jameer Gibbs, and probably Jameson Williams. I think are my top three touchdown scorers for that game.
yeah. All right. That's that wraps it up for the picks side of things. I guess we can do a quick little recap of like any bets that we're pretty close to.
Do
Um,
top three. Top three.
yeah. I guess so. Yeah. So, I mean, I only really have a couple bets right now. So it's for tonight's game because that's tonight, and I was thinking about this for a while because I definitely thought the Bills were gonna like either smoke them or just win this game. But I landed on the Bills money line, James Cook touchdown. You can boost that on DK. I'm sure you could probably find a boost on other books too, but you can boost it on DK 50%, get plus money. That is one of my bets right now. If you want to go over yours, you can go ahead. You can do one of yours.
My top three. I really like Keon Coleman at least 40 plus minus 136. Dallas money line is probably my second top minus 118, and Xavier Worthy touchdown for plus 125.
Okay. Yeah, I like the Raiders money line right now, plus 150. And I also am on the side of the Cowboys. I would say that's probably one of my top bets right now. I'm actually going to lock that in today because I don't want to see minus 130 or minus 120. So I'm going to go ahead and get that in. So yeah, I like that. Yeah, I guess as far as like next videos and upcoming podcasts, well, maybe I mean we kind of went over this week,
I
so
do
maybe
have
you might.
Saturday like so. Normally I've been working on Saturday, but I do have Saturday off this week, so we could
Okay.
possibly throw in another one with more lines available. We could possibly do one Saturday. Um,
Yeah, it's more about like just trying to find time where we're both like available. Yeah, I mean Saturday should be a good day. I'm not off Saturday, but I'm usually home, early afternoon. So
Yeah.
yeah, it should
But
be
at the
good.
very least, we're gonna put at least one a week, uh,
Yeah,
at the very least, and hopefully before all the games, which Thursdays have been the day. So,
yeah,
um,
which is good. Get a little
which
extra.
yeah, yeah. So I think that
Mess it up.
wraps it up. So thanks for listening, everybody. Um, Again, if you guys have any bets you want to add or your thoughts on some of the games, some of our picks, feel free to jump in the comments section. They're open. Um, yeah, thanks for listening. Got anything else to add?
No,
All right. Yeah, thanks for tuning in, and we will see you next time.
no, you're good.